Welcome back to the demo room. It's been a little while since I made a video, but let's talk about what this video is going to be about. First of all, if you like this stuff, feel free to click like and subscribe, tell your friends about it. Feel free to comment too, all you want. You know, if you love it or you hate it, feel free to comment, click like or dislike, your choice. But this video is going to get a little bit away from what this channel is about. This video is going to be about if you want to get started making a beginner home studio for, let's say you want to just record some songs, get some basic vocals down or something. So let's talk about a few things here. So first of all, you want to keep your budget as low as possible. You got to spend some money, but you don't want to spend too much. For example, your vocal mic. I've got some web pages pulled up here. Some different products I would suggest for if you want to get started. Lewitt is a really cool company. They make low-cost, really good sounding vocal mics. I would suggest you try maybe take a look at this guy right here. It's $160 right here. Or you could take a look at the Audio-Technica one. I suggest that you, when you're putting together your budget, stay at $100 to $150 for the microphone. So this one's $100 on their webpage is what it says. On their webpage, it marks this one at $159. Now, if you find a dealer, you could probably get it a little bit cheaper. But yeah, I suggest maybe take a look at this, see what you think. You could even listen to these examples and see if you like them or not. The Audio-Technica one is pretty good. I've recorded drums and I've recorded vocals and guitars and everything with this. It's a good mic. It's a good starter mic. There are also USB versions. There's a USB version of this. I don't know that Lewitt has a USB version, but there is a USB version. Now the microphone that I'm using for this video is this one right here. Costs a little bit more. It says $299 on their webpage. If you find a dealer, you could probably get a good price on it, but it's a pretty good mic. So I would suggest for starters, get yourself one of these or the Audio-Technica or a similar $100 microphone. The reason why I suggest $100 is because it's a good starting price. Plus, you don't know where you're going to be in 6 months. Maybe in 6 months you are deciding you don't want to do this, or maybe you're in an actual studio. So that way, if you only spend $100, you're only out $100, not thousands. Okay. So I would suggest take a look at this, see what you think. Take a look at this one, see what you think. Try a different one maybe. For an interface, here's a pretty decent choice. I have one, but I use it for running smart when I mix live sound. So this, I'm not 100% sure on the price on this, but it's got two inputs. These outputs right here are for studio monitors. It has a headphone jack, and then it's got the gain knobs and the gain knobs, 48 volt, and a pad and so on. What's cool about this one is that around the knob a LED or maybe it's OLED light lights up showing how strong of a signal is hitting the preamp. So that's kind of a cool little feature. It actually shows, like, this means that the input level is way too strong. This means it's really a softer signal. So Scarlett 2i2 is an okay choice. Nothing bad, nothing wrong with it. Another choice is Behringer has plenty of options available. There's a few different choices here. And this isn't all of them. This is just right when I pulled up their webpage. You've got a few different choices, and these are all different price ranges. This one is probably not too expensive, and this one's probably more expensive. So a couple good options there. And nowadays, everything is good. For this video, I have the microphone plugged into this guy. But as you can see, this one's $1,100. It's got 8 preamps. Very, very high quality preamps, I should say. Extremely high quality preamps. 2 headphone jacks. And on the back, you've got your power switch. These are 4 output jacks that you can patch anything you want to them. And then it has AES, EBU, input and output. This is more for live sound, but I'm still using it for studio work. It uses an Ethernet jack instead of a USB, so you can run multiple of these into Ethernet switch, and then you can have more than just the one interface. So you could buy 2 of them or 4 of them, and you could basically, let's say you do 4 times 8 is 32, right? Yep. So you'd have 32 inputs available. So that's a cool thing you could expand. That's the nice thing about Waves as their interfaces, is it's all expandable. You aren't stuck with this is what you get. I also have the Digigrid D, but let's look at the price. It's marked at $1,000 on their webpage, so it's not a cheap one. So there's the front of it with the headphone jack. You've got 4 outputs, so these would be for your studio monitors, and these are line outputs. Power over Ethernet, which is a cool feature. So then you can just plug Ethernet in without a power cable. You've got 2 1/4-inch inputs. You can plug an acoustic guitar or a keyboard into that, and 2 preamps, 2 XLR inputs with preamps. And let's see if we can get a top view. Nope. Okay, we'll go back here. So this knob right here and this knob right here are your XLR input gain knobs. These are the 1/4-inch gain knobs. And then I think this one's headphone and this is monitor. So you got 2 separate volume knobs for your monitoring system. I really like this interface. It's really nice. I've used it live and it's pretty good. It's really good for live, but it's really designed for studio. I got this one here for upcoming shows. Now, so we talked about microphones. Stay at $100 to $150. That way you aren't spending too much money. Get yourself a good low-cost interface. You could, if you really wanted to, you could buy the expensive ones. Now let's talk about some headphones. You're going to need some headphones. You'll also want to do some studio monitors, but we'll get to those in a minute. So headphones. For that, I would honestly spend as much as you can on that. You know, they've got, let's go down here and find a pair. Oh, come on. Okay, let's find a pair. Here you go. Here's a pair for $50. I haven't used those ones. I think that's a newer model that I haven't ever used. I've used these ones. They're pretty okay. They aren't the best in the world, but they're good. $50 for that pair. 60, 70 for that. 100 for this one. 300 for that one. You can use headphones anywhere you want. So you could, if you wanted to, you could spend a good amount on it. Like this one right here is $1,400 for that. I don't know that I'd buy that, but you know, that's the price ranges this company has. There's other brands. Sennheiser has some, AKG has some. So you can just buy whatever you want for headphones. But the thing you want to do is get the over-ear. You want to get the over-the-ear one right here. Because you need isolation when you're recording vocals. So you want to go with over-ear. I think PreSonus even has some over-ear headphones. Okay? So next up, let's talk about something important too. Your cables. When you buy cables, you want to make sure that you get good quality cables with good ends. And when I say that, I'm not talking about a super expensive one. I'm talking about this type of connection. If you take a look here, right here, this black part and the metal part right here, the silver part, those unscrew. I've found that in my experience, these are the best connections because they don't break as often. You can unscrew this here and you can resolder if it breaks. I've just found that they're way more stable and more reliable for me, for my uses. So that's what I suggest on that. Both ends with this type of connection, male and female. Now another thing is you want to go with a 25-footer. You don't want too short of a cable, because if your cable's too short, you don't have room to work. You want to be able to explore the space. If you remember that cowbell incident, you want to be able to explore the space. So go with a 25-foot mic cable. You could even maybe go 30 feet, but I wouldn't go any longer than that. 25 or 30 feet should be plenty, because now you've got some room to work. Anything more than that, you get a lot of cable mess going on, and it just becomes a little bit of a headache. Let's see. Next up, let's talk about some studio monitors. You could spend a lot of money, or for getting started, you could just get one of these 2-packs. These aren't too expensive. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head the price on them, but these are not too much money, and they work. They aren't the best in the world, but at least you can hear the sound you recorded with them, and that's really what these lower cost ones are about, just being able to hear what you did. I think this one's a subwoofer right here. I know they used to have one that was mids only. Maybe this is the one, I don't know. But these look like they're copies of KRKs. I don't know for sure on that though. This almost looks like a Yamaha copy, maybe. But no, these will probably be okay for starting out. Yamaha has really good ones that you can't go wrong with those. The HS series, I have an HS7, I have a couple of those. Those are really good. They sound great. For a laptop, I think this is the model I have. This is plenty fast for just some basic getting started recording. I've used it for tracking shows, live shows, and multi-tracking, and I've done some studio stuff with it, not much, but this thing works okay for that. Yeah, so that's an option. It's a touchscreen, which is really fun in the studio. You don't have to go all the way up to the MacBook, but you can if you want. I mean, who wouldn't want to have a MacBook? But I mean, sure, everyone knows about MacBooks, right? Yeah, so, I mean, just getting started, you just get yourself a $150 mic, inexpensive interface, couple cables, some headphones. That's all you need. Now, let's get some material. Probably want to buy a mic stand too while you're at it. You're probably going to need a mic stand, and you can get them for 15 bucks, you know. It just has to hold the mic. For the DAW, I use Studio One. It's just the one I've always used. It's what I'm used to. It's what I've always used. You know, you can use pretty much anything. They're not gonna color the sound at all, no matter what one you use, with the exception of Harrison Mixbus. There may be another one out there I don't know about, but Harrison Mixbus is cool because it's basically a copy of the Harrison analog console, and it does a really good job of all kinds of just harmonic distortion and analog coloration. I bought it, but I've never really used it. I just bought it a long time ago. So something that you really need to know about is when you are recording, you want your level to be at -18, which is somewhere right around here. You want your average signal to be -18. I'm a bit lower on that, but I'm speaking loudly at times and not so loud at other times. So you want to just try to live around -18 for your average so that you have some headroom for peaks. If you can get a good solid clean signal at -18 for your average, for your input level, you're going to be in a good spot. And then you can send those files off to me or someone else or whoever. So yep, that should be a good getting started video for you on what you need to do. Now here's something else to be aware of. I'm using a large diaphragm condenser mic in a noisy environment, and I know you can hear the background noise. I did that by design. If you are recording in a very noisy environment, you might need to get a handheld vocal mic instead. Just a dynamic handheld dynamic vocal mic, because they have a tighter pickup pattern and they don't pick up the outside noise as much. Well, anyway, hope this video was quick and helpful for you. I've got a lot of really great stuff coming. Just stay tuned. Thanks. Have a great day.